How do we get prices down? What is the blueprint for lower prices? I was actually asked a question about food costs on a radio show this past week, and how long it's going to be before grocery bills start coming down. And I tried to explain that if you think the first quarter, okay, Donald Trump's first 3 months in office, first year, all of a sudden you're going to see major decreases in the price of what we're paying at the grocery store. Not happening. It's not going to happen. It's going to take some time. Most certainly, could we see prices decrease at the pump, barring any sort of geopolitical war type of situation, whatever it may be? Absolutely. That could be the case. And that will filter through to everything else. But one of the reasons why we have much higher prices, and again, we could take a look at all the nonsense, all the waste, all the spending from the Biden administration, the handouts, the giveaways, the checks, all of that contributed, all the money printing by the Federal Reserve. Yes, all of that has been inflationary. That's what inflation is. I try to get across. It's a monetary issue. With that being said, okay, we told you back in the winter of 2021, inflation was spiraling out of control. We also said that the Federal Reserve and their economists were, how did I put it? Morons! They were telling everybody that inflation was transitory. Well, what did they continue to do? They continued to keep interest rates at ridiculously low levels, continued to, again, buy up treasuries galore, essentially printing money. Again, what did the Fed economists say? Well, inflation, it's due to these bottlenecks and problems due to COVID and all this stuff. Yeah, I get that. But if that was the case, it was just the bottlenecks and whatnot, and the bottlenecks have now gone away. Why are prices still so damn high? And then you'll get the left. Hey, it's corporate greed. Hey, greedy corporations. Right, sure. And this is from the government numbers. I'm going to give you some government numbers right now. And we all know that government numbers are, like I put it, they're fugazi. It's not real. Costs of shelter, food, and energy are up 25, 27, and 25% since the beginning of the pandemic. National Home Price Index, Case-Shiller, up 50%. 50% since year-end 2019. And there was a piece today in the Wall Street Journal, Mickey Levy, Michael Bordo, talking about some of these things that we've been talking about for some time. What is the blueprint, though? How do we get prices down? This is the difficult part right now. This country has gone the way in many respects, and I have talked about this in the past, much like a totalitarian state, much like China. It was a great interview. Mark Anderson was on the Rogan podcast, and this is a guy who's a very astute investor. He was an original founder of Netscape, has been involved with all sorts of companies over the past several decades, and explaining that he's involved in AI companies right now. How the government came in, our government came in and said, hey, listen, don't bother. We're going to decide. We're going to break it down. We want to have like 2 companies that are outstanding. Since Dodd-Frank, here's another example. Since Dodd-Frank was passed, financial crisis, you do realize there hasn't been a new bank in the United States. Not one. Not a single new bank chartered here in the United States. It's possible. Now, I've talked about the lack of competition. I've talked about regulatory capture. It was great listening to the interview. Mark was saying the same exact things we've been saying here on the program. Regulatory capture. Big businesses, and again, we've got this FTC that's out there roaming around, not doing what is necessary. Again, the government likes their power. And what a great way to control people than control the plumbing system for the entire country, which is the banking system. We, had Dodd-Frank, too big to fail. Now it's too bigger to fail. These companies are not going anywhere. No company in this entire country should be too big to fail. That's Failure is a part of the process. We've talked about creative destruction here on the program. Economist Joseph Schumpeter. Somebody builds a better mousetrap, comes up with a better idea, destroyed, something better comes along. Great example of this. Think about Blockbuster Video. Think about Blockbuster Video. And again, I mean, we all went to Blockbuster Video at some point in time, right? From VHS tapes to DVDs. They didn't think outside the box, and, Netflix cleaned their clock. Okay. Think about it for a second. Some people might be nostalgic for going to the video store. Not me. Oh man, I forgot to return that video. No, you just go and you watch what you want to watch. Again, that was smart. Competition allowed that to happen. Now imagine if the government was in bed with big VHS and big DVD, and they didn't allow Blockbuster to fail. They didn't allow competition in that arena. Yeah, we'd still be going to Blockbuster Video today. That's the reality. And there's many protected industries here in this country keeping prices high. Think about the consolidation within the food industry with Big Ag. Think about that for a second. Over the years. I mean, it's incredible. You think about the things that they allowed to happen. You think about when tobacco was going down, and then they allowed Big Tobacco to buy up food companies. Now, Big Tobacco understands how to get people addicted to products. You start putting additives and all sorts of type of designing the way food is so people get more addicted to crappy food. It's the same crap, people. All of these companies need to be broken up. We need to bring more competition. You want to bring prices down? Get rid of regulations. Allow more competition into industries. You don't think that Big Ag is protected by the FDA and regulations? Of course they are. You remember seeing pictures of, what was that? It was the FDA coming in and knocking over and spilling all of the raw milk that the Amish farmers tried to sell? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's your Gestapo-esque country that we're living in here at this point in time. I think I mentioned it a day or two here on the program. The government stepping in. Again, once again, the Amish come to the rescue, to building small homes for people in North Carolina affected by Hurricane Helene. No. They didn't meet the local requirements by the government at that time. So you know what? We'll put them in government trailers or tents. It's a much better idea, right? No. A lot needs to be dealt with. Most of the country, I'm gonna be honest, most of the country, oh, it's America, America. They start singing country songs about freedom and this and that. And the next thing, what a load of bunk. The similarities between the things that we do here in this country and the thing that they always like to go, fuck, the communist Chinese. And yeah, Xi Jinping is most certainly a communist. But you don't think our government likes the same type of control? They do. You want prices to come down, get the government out of the way, allow more competition in the industry. It's funny. There's a personal note. My business and what I do. And I've talked about the barriers to entry and how difficult it is, the regulatory costs that are involved. And God, a lot of it's just quite frankly is nonsense. Nonsense. Every year I got to take continuing education classes, and it's the same BS. It's all money laundering stuff. But isn't it funny that all these big banks keep getting nailed for money laundering for all these bad actors? Nothing happens to them. If I was a launder money for a drug cartel or some criminal, some crook, I'd be thrown out of the business. But let's just put that aside. Access to capital. Access to money. That's one of the things about too big to fail and the big banks and Dodd-Frank. That's been something that's been talked about. People being debanked. Your bank calls it. No, you can't have an account here anymore. Now we're debanking you. It happened to Melania Trump and her son, for crying out loud. I mean, this is the things that take place here in this country. You pick up the phone. I don't like this person politically. Call somebody over at the big banks and you tell them, hey, we're your regulator. We can make life very difficult on you. Don't allow these people to have accounts. Happens all the time. Access to capital. I'm trying to, expand our business. And let's say certain firms are, the owners want to retire. We try to purchase. You don't think it's, more difficult for us to get access to capital? Because I've got to go to essentially my competitor to borrow money for them or whatever it may be to finance a loan to buy one of these businesses in the same industry. Not an easy thing to do. Again, you have to go outside the main banking system to go ahead and do that at this point in time. Again, I'm not complaining. It is what it is. Okay. But you want a blueprint for prices to come down. This is what needs to be done. And I'm telling you right now, it's not going to happen overnight. And what is going to happen is there's going to be a lot of saying, hey, I thought Trump was going to bring prices down. You're going to hear it all over the media. All over the media. They're going to say, oh, Trump couldn't get it done. La, la, la. Again, he's got some smart people around him. They better be out there in force explaining to the American people how the world works, how money works, how competition works. Because, be honest with you, most people are woefully ignorant when it comes to these topics. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.